Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, and today is the day. Tonight is the night. It is time to start season 25 of Big Brother. And I don't know if I'm ready. I didn't go to bed early enough last night. I'll be staying up late tonight. I did 3 podcasts yesterday about different parts of Big Brother, and I really don't have a lot to add this morning, but I thought I should jump on and fire something out just to have something out there. And the next time I'll probably talk to you guys will either be very, very late tonight if I record something after my initial take on the house guests, maybe between the show and the feeds. I don't know. I'm thinking to myself here how this is going to work out. Or like after, when there's a lull, like at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, when there's a lull, I can just give my first impressions and get that out there for you guys. But I did 3 CarCasts yesterday, talking about different parts of the house, different things that come out. I talked about the cast. I talked about the twists with the multiverse and the bank teller tube, and the Julie giving the house tours, and the rumors about maybe there being maybe a returnees, maybe, but I don't think so. I just don't know. But lots of rumors came out. Lots of thoughts were brought up yesterday. So I don't want to really talk about any of that stuff today. I figured I would just do a really quick, me saying quick, CarCast and mention, just the basics of the feeds start tonight. Pluto TV, that was another announcement that came out yesterday, right? It's going to be live feeds are going to be on Pluto TV with ads. So that's actually, to me, as I thought about it, one of the biggest things. That's really huge. And I said it already, and I'm just thinking to myself how big that could be, what a game changer that could be, because it opens up the live feeds to a large swath of people who would never in the past have watched the live feeds because they don't want to cough up the $5 a month. Pluto TV is free. It's an app. You just go and download it. I've downloaded it on my phone. I actually had it on my phone. I had to re-download it. I had it on my computer last night testing it out. You can kind of manipulate the browser windows and have, you could have, in theory, 3 or 4 browser windows and have 4 cameras playing on your computer if you wanted to. It'd be a stretch. It'd be a little bit of work. But there is a way. You could do it if you really wanted to try it out. So yeah, it's an option, and I'm going to be interested to see how the commercials work and everything. All right, I'm going back down. I already talked about all this last night about Pluto TV, so let's not get too far down that one. So what do we got to do now? The show's going to start. What's this going to all involve as far as prep, as far as getting ready? Well, if you're like me, and you aren't working tomorrow, right? Because you're going to be up late tonight. I know this is where the people that are like, wow, you're really dedicated. It's like, look, I got lots of friends who take their birthdays off, take the day off. I just know I will stay up very late watching the feeds, and rather than be a real, not very productive tomorrow at work, I'm just taking the day off. I'm just taking a vacation day. I got them to spare, so I will take a vacation day, and I'll sleep in eventually when I eventually go to bed, at probably 5 or 6 in the morning, and then I'll have a lazy day on Thursday, because the house guests will also probably sleep in, most of them, and I may not get a lot done, but I'll get that initial wave out, and then I will also get to watch the feeds again tomorrow. Tomorrow. Oh God, it's tomorrow. Yeah, wow. And learn a little bit more about the house guests and figure out what's going on, and then we'll be on to the weekend, and there you go. So, but for you guys, what do we do? So the show's at, I think, 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern time. How can you watch the show? All right. So those of you that are not on the East Coast or don't have a way, there are ways. First of all, if you're tech savvy, look, you know how to do this kind of stuff. You can figure it out. if you have Paramount Plus with the live streaming option to stream your local CBS station, you can use a geolocator app on like Chrome and stuff, and you can change it so that it thinks you're actually in another city, in another place, and you can watch the local news there. That's one way. You can the easiest way is, and assuming it's back, is a website which broadcasts the Canadian, which streams the Canadian stream of Big Brother, and a lot of people tune into that. Now, CBS often tries to get that streamer shut down, so I'm not saying it's above boards. But look, we're all just fans of the show, and we just want to see it as soon as possible. We're loyal followers, and a lot of people will watch it on the East Coast time, and they'll go back and rewatch it when it's in their local area. So we're giving them their advertising dollars. We are getting the word out. We are trying to watch it. We're not trying to skirt watching a free show, other than the fact that you're going to watch it on somebody else's advertising than your local one. But look, when you want to watch it, you want to watch it. So that's another option. I traditionally have always tweeted out a link to that website that has that stream like 5 minutes before the show starts. That's my intent to do again tonight. I will probably do that again and say, I usually put us like, this is the link you need. I do not hashtag it. I do not, I don't call as much attention to it as I could. People that know. And actually, it's been the same link for years. So once you have it, just bookmark it and go there. It will probably work for the whole thing, but it may drop or something. Just bear in mind that's an option, and then you can just watch it when you get your time. But there's not gonna be. I mean, come on. The live feeds will not start until after the West Coast airing. So the live feeds aren't going to actually kick off until 9:30 Pacific time, which is 12:30 a.m. Actually Thursday morning, 12:30 in the morning is when the feeds are going to kick off, or when they're supposed to kick off in the East Coast, for the East Coast folks. And I'm considered an East Coast folk, even though I'm not in the East Coast. That's when the feeds are going to kick off. So you're not going to miss anything if you wait to watch the show until your local airtime, assuming that you live in the West or further to the West. Now, if you live in Hawaii, well, yeah, you might want to figure out how to watch it earlier than when it shows in Hawaii, because I think it's a 6-hour difference. I can't remember what the time difference is, but yeah, you don't want to be waiting to watch it then if you're a hardcore Big Brother fan. Or elsewhere in the world, that's where you get into the whole VPN thing too. But if you're elsewhere in the world and you're used to watching American television, you already know how to get around all these bumps and hiccups. So feeds will kick in. We're gonna have the show. We're gonna have the house guests introduced. They're gonna set up this whole time laser thing, and then they're gonna bring the house guests in. There's gonna be a lot of filler on tonight's show. It's gonna be meet the house guests. It's gonna be there. Oh my gosh, I got my key. Look, guys, I'm going. And Julie will. Obviously, we don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but in the past, the most recent seasons, they have had a household competition at the very beginning of the show, or at the first night. So we should know ahead of household probably by the end of the show. However, I can't remember, last year, did we know, or did they? I think we knew. I wonder if there's always the chance that they will leave it as a cliffhanger and say, but I don't think there's not a show tomorrow night, so there won't be a show until Sunday. So I think we should know who the head of household is. But again, live feeds are free on Pluto TV, so they don't even have. They can just go watch Pluto TV to see who won. I don't know what they'll do. They may leave people hanging. So understand, the show will end at 9:30 Eastern time, but the feeds won't turn on for 3 hours. So there's going to be a 3-hour gap there that we don't see. That's not bad, considering it used to be they would be in the house for a week before we would see them, or 3 or 4 days before we would see any of the feeds. So we aren't going to miss a ton. We're going to miss 3 hours of them mingling and talking and strategizing, which still some crucial things could happen in those 3 hours. but at least it's only 3 hours. It's not 3 days, 4 days a week. So there you go. So and those of you that, I realize that some of you won't even bother getting online, but Pluto TV is accessible from any internet device out there, really. There is an app for your phone. There's Pluto TV as a web page. It's going to be, as far as I know, pluto.tv/BBLF, I believe. That link is not working yet. I don't know what time they're going to turn it on. But that will be the access to this particular area of Pluto TV. So I feel like, wow, I'm just telling everybody how to get to it, realizing that you have that opportunity. It's going to be interesting. So those will kick off. The show will happen. The house guests will enter the house. Probably have a head household competition, and we'll see if they get divided into two groups, if anybody from a previous, if an alumni actually ends up in the house with them or not. We'll see if that happens. It should be interesting. Yeah, and then there'll be that 3 hours of waiting for the live feeds to kick off, and then that first half an hour, 45 minutes, hour is pure chaos when the feeds kick on. And you're also trying to figure out what's going on. And last year, as I said on one of my previous recent CarCasts, that was when the feeds kicked on. And I remember watching and hearing rumblings of some of the girls talking about Taylor, and someone saying that they thought she was a beauty queen or something, and somebody saying that she isn't connecting with them, and watching Taylor not connecting with the girls, watching her spend time more. She was trying to mingle with the guys, but in the meantime, all the other girls, or most of the other girls, were together in a group, and that kind of set up her negative issues. Part of them. I mean, they probably would have happened no matter what, but that was right there at the very beginning. Was Taylor's story started. Other players had other things going on. I can remember watching. It's just what happens every year. You're watching the players. You're learning who they are. You're seeing, in theory, at least a little bit of their true character, who they really are, versus what we've seen in their build-up, in their videos and everything. And you've got 4 cameras, which is really only, there are times where they'll get all 4 going in different areas, but most of the time in Big Brother on the live feeds, you have 2 main things to choose from. You have 4 cameras, but there's 2 and 2. 2 cameras are on one scene, and the other 2 cameras are on another scene. Sometimes all 4 cameras are on the same scene, but a lot of times it's 2 and 2. And you can either pick and choose, you can bounce between the 2. Honestly, earbuds or ear headphones are really recommended. It is hard to hear the live feeds with just your speaker on your computer or on your phone. Earbuds or earphones really help to be able to isolate that sound and figure out what's going on. There will also be a fifth channel, a fifth feed, which is the quad cam. That usually has the left channel on 2 of the cameras, the right channel on the other 2 cameras. I watch it to see what's going on. Actually, Liquidated, one of the Twitter accounts, has a thing called BB Viewer. Used to have a dedicated app that you can run to watch the feeds, but that kind of got shut down with advancements in web design. HTML5 kind of was the end of the dedicated viewer, and so now he just writes an extension for Chrome that allows you to kind of run your own viewer. It's like an add-on to Paramount's site that lets you isolate the channel that you're listening to. It allows you to jump easily between cameras. It's a little bit more clunky on the Paramount version. So that is Liquidated, LIQ, Liquid, the number 8 and the letter D, is his Twitter account. The last tweet I think I put was a tweet to him, and you can go to his profile on Twitter and download this little extension and install it, and you're good to go. Again, if you're not very tech savvy, well, then maybe you just need to carry on with what you're able to do. But it is an awesome little tool. He has a PayPal account where you can send a little donation if you want to thank him for his little time building, not his lot of time building this extension, but if you want to give him a thank you, kind of a kudos, send him a few bucks. That's always a nice thing to do. It's a thankless job that he does, and I actually I will fess up to pinging him last night to ask if he was looking at doing anything like that for the Pluto TV thing. And I guess he's been asked that a lot already, which is kind of funny. I don't think, at this point, I think he's going to be just happy to get the regular one up and running. And if he decides he has time, he may try to see if he can poke around and do something. But don't bother him about that. I've already done it. I've saved you the annoying of him. Don't you go annoy him too. Anyways, all right, so feeds are going to kick off. You're going to familiarize yourself with the feeds if you're even up. If you're not up, if you decide I'm not staying up, I'm going to bed, I'll figure out what's going on in the morning. Well, hi, I'm Mike. I will be up. I will update my Twitter account and my Blue Sky account, most likely. Those are the two places that I'm, at this point, looking to be hanging out. With what is going on, I will give you an update as far as who's, the major points, who's had a household, who's nominated, who's in trouble, have-nots, all of those different things. I will also do this right here. I will do my CarCast. I do it almost every Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends. I sometimes go for 5 minutes. I sometimes go for 25 minutes. It just depends on what all is going on. Earlier in the season, they'll probably be longer. Later in the season, when I have less to talk about, obviously shorter. I'm also still contemplating if I try to do some kind of a alternate podcast. And by that, I mean, I don't know, maybe a 5-minute or a 2-minute little thing that people can just tune in to really quick, listen to it, and tune right out, because obviously, we're at 16 minutes right now. I don't tend to be short in these things. And so some people are probably like, I just want to get to this part, or I just want to hear this part. I don't need to hear Mike talk for 20 minutes. I just want to know the meat of what's going on. And I am perfectly capable of doing a quick summary of what is going on. That's what I often do with the hashtag BB. In this case, it'll be hashtag BB25 in 280, right? That's my little thing that I do. Some other people do other things. I started back in Big Brother 17, I think it was, or Big Brother 16 or Big Brother 17. I started doing hashtag BB20XX in 140 characters, or now 280 characters, where I just give you a very quick summary of what's going on. You can search for that hashtag and you'll know, okay, this is what's up. So I'm thinking of possibly I got to come up with a name, something, and a lot of times I come up with these ideas and I never flesh them out. So we'll see. If I come up with something and I just do a very quick little update on what's going on. But that's my plan. You check this out, subscribe to this, whether you're listening to it on Spreaker, if you're listening through a link in Twitter, or if you have a podcasting app, just look for Mike's Big Brother Gossip Show or CarCast, and it'll come up and you can subscribe to it. And I do it, like I said, almost every day. And then lastly, my patrons. I have a small and very loyal group of patrons, some of whom have been supporting me for, I think we're going on 4 years now. And for them, it's a thank you kind of a thing. I saw Nurse Magooey actually tweeted at me this morning. That's one of my regular patrons. She's not currently a patron, but she tweeted at me that she was going to be signing back up shortly. So thank you in advance, Nurse Magooey. And I have another new patron. We're talking onesies and twosies here, folks. I would love to have 100 patrons, but I don't have that many. But I am very happy for the ones I have. For them, other than a thank you and a shout out occasionally, what I have tried to do a few times recently, and I think this is my third one, is I've actually recorded in video this podcast, this CarCast. So for them, they are actually able to watch me if they go to the patron site, if they want to watch me talk. And as I've been doing this, and this is my third one, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, there's some times where I take both my hands off the steering wheel. I am driving with my leg. Look, I've been driving for a few years. I'm not driving, when I'm doing that, I'm not driving on terribly congested roads. Not that makes it any better, but I'm like, oh man, sooner or later somebody's going to say, you don't have your hands on the steering wheel. Yeah, 99.9% of the time I do. Not that that makes it any better. But if you want to watch me talk to myself, besides listening to talk to myself, then by all means, become a patron, sign up, and you'll get these every once in a while. I have no idea on how often I'm going to do it. It adds an extra process, it adds an extra layer, and so I don't want to promise that I will do one every set amount of time. It's kind of when the mood strikes me, and the mood struck me today. But it also means, as I said, that I have to go in, I have to extract the audio separately, then upload the audio, and then upload the video. So there's a few extra steps, and I don't know how often I'm going to have time to do that. And it delays me getting it posted, so we'll see. But for now, here's another one with the shadow. So the sun, I'm driving into the sun, and the shadow is across my face. I have my cool little clip-on sunglasses. I'm a glasses wearer, and I bought clip-on sunglasses recently, so I look cool, really cool. You just have to see it if you want to. All right, that's all I got. We're at 20 minutes, almost 21 minutes. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you after this all happens, unless there's major news between now and showtime, which is always possible. I probably won't talk to you again. I'll just be tweeting or on Blue Sky, talking there. And for those of you that are on some other social media platform, look, I can't do them all. And at this point, I think I'm stretched to my limit at 2. And I have accounts on most of the other major ones, but I'm just not. I can't. I had to make a call, and those are the 2 that I'm on. So hopefully you'll find me if you want to that way. Otherwise, we'll talk to you here. All right, that's it. I'm done talking in circles. Take care, everybody. Be well. Bye-bye.